Rudy here. Welcome to this week's dividend video, paying juicy divs. So we start off with Australian 1 year government bond yields have spiked last week. So interesting, we'll keep an eye on that one. Okay, on to the ASX stocks. So first of all, the dividend info I get is all from Morningstar, because I know there's lots of different sources. So first cab off the rank is Atlas Arteria. And you go, oh shit, what happened? Okay, so they just paid a 20-cent dividend, which is equivalent of 8%, which is in line with the sort of Morningstar there. So they were at 5.23, so they should have dropped to 5.03. So I reckon there's nothing fundamentally wrong that's gone wrong. So if you want to try and pick up a div stock, like if you love it, just buy it now. It's forming a bottoming pattern. You can see these wicks, they come down, they get bought up. If you want to be sure, just wait for it to break $5. Okay. AGL. So 5.9. So put that out as a buy back here. So that still looks good. ANZ. My preferred bank to buy and happens to have the highest div of the banks, 5.0. So yep, APA, the pipeline business, so they're on 6.4, looking nice and steady there. They were a buyback here, but still nice and stable. Horizon, the rail freight operator, 4.9. I try to get them over 5, but 4.9, that looks very nice. It's broken, come back, finding support. Looks, yep, good. Bendigo and Adelaide Bank, they're on 5.0. So they've had a bit of a profit wobble, but they seem to be looking alright. BFG. This is, I guess, my preferred exposure to the fund management business. Div of 5.6. They're looking at doing a partnership with Premium, which is the platform service. Anyway, chart doesn't look too bad. Beach. Okay, so let me. Before we get into that, so oil, I reckon the oil price long term, I just say mid term, is pretty close to a bottom in here, creeping above that 65. So a number of the oil stocks, so Beach is at historically low support levels. Paying a div of 7.4, I don't know, it's hard to pass up. BWP, so that's a REIT, owning warehouse bulky goods, retailing properties with relatively large sites and high visibility, 5.1. My only problem with REITs at the moment is whether the interest rates are going to keep rising, because if they do, it's negative for REITs in general. But this one's not at all-time highs. It's just if it's the price of all that's probably all factored in. So it looks pretty steady. It is at the top of the range though, but if you like it, yep, hold it. Dicker Data, the old. It's one of my favourite ones. When I started the divs, IT wholesaler. Not small, 3 billion in revenue. The div's now 4.5 because it's gone up. So I'm just going to keep it in there. It looks quite good still for another leg up. Anyway, we'll keep it on watch. Dairy Bale Infrastructure. So they're the ship coal through their terminal. Div 5.3. So they've come down and tested. So that looks like a pretty good buy. Bouncing off support. DRR. So they're the royalty business. So basically they make most of their money from not doing very much at all. They get most of their revenue from BHP's iron ore area C, and they're trying to move into other type of battery type metal. Anyway, they this drop here is because they just paid a div of 13 cents. So yeah, that looks fine. Elders. So they're so they provide agricultural products, services, one-stop shop to the farmers. Div of 4.9. Looks like it's got some form of support around here. FMG, the iron ore master. So div of 7.3. I mean, you just got to have this guy. If there's a couple of mining stocks that you just got to have. This is one of them. They're not going to shoot the lights out. Why do I say that? This is the iron ore price. So you can see it basically just trades in a bit of a range here. So the current price is 784. That's Chinese yuan. So it's 109 US. Fortescue cost of production is $20. So there's some nice profit margins going on there. GQG, so they're another global fund manager. 10%. Buy it? No. It's no, don't buy it yet from a capital point preservation, but I'm keeping it in there because it's 10%. Okay, the Chicken Man, 7.2. ING, so right on support here. It was a sell back here. So it just needs to do. I mean, you could buy it now. I wouldn't, from a capital point of view. I'd wait for it to. There's a gap here. Wait for it to fill the gap at 260 to be sure. Or if you love it, then just buy it. But I wouldn't from a capital point of view. IPH 9.1. I didn't see there. Yeah. So they broke. So my charting is sometimes good. Like you think, oh, that looks pretty good. But fundamentally, I just don't get it. It's very labour intensive. IP, intellectual property services. So I just didn't get it. But anyway, it comes to a point where when it's cheap, it's worth it. So I reckon we wait for a bit more pain to be applied. A bit like what happened to AGL. Okay, this is a new one. This is the price of manganese. It doesn't pay a dividend. But you can see we're sort of at lows. Manganese is a bit of a battery play. Seems to be making a bit of a bottom there. And so the stock is Jupiter Mines. They're a bit of a royalty. Well, they're not a royalty company, but they basically are. They get their revenue through a 50% share in a South African manganese mine, and they've got other exploration assets. But basically, they just get a share of revenue of a mine. Price action looks not too bad. So if you like that, Lindsay Australia. Okay, so the transport, logistics, rural supply chain company. Right at some key levels of support here. What have I got here? On 10th of October, they got a 1.5 cent dividend, which is 2.3, or annualised 4.6, but Morningstar has 7.8. I think they pay a bigger dividend on the second half. Anyway, always do your own research, but yeah, technically looks nice. Okay, Macmillan Shakespeare, the salary packaging company, a lot of government employees. Albo keeps giving them jobs, so it's come down to support with a nice rejection off support there. So if you like it, 8.6, pretty attractive. Okay, New Hope, so the coal, and they do have some so coal miner plus some farming activities, a bit of logistics thrown in there. So it paid a div this week, 15 cents, which is 3.6 or 7.2 if you double it for annualised. So yeah, that's a good time to buy. Buying at the bottom of a long-term cycle, I reckon. 3 billion people still want coal. It's only Australia. Idiots that want to close it. RFF, Rural Funds Group. So they own rural land. Nice long-term leases. 6% div. Came back down. So it's forming a consolidation pattern, so it looks pretty bullish actually. Rio, I think they're on 5% div. Lovely weekly candle there. Iron ore and copper, so they'll get their income from iron ore, and they'll get growth from their copper. All these mining stocks will come. There's an easier way to access all of them. Spark, the New Zealand telecom, 10% div, just getting punished, so they haven't been making some smart moves, but that's okay. We'll wait, just wait. They'll wait till they find a bottom, so we'll keep them on the list. The King, Woodside, 7.2 div at these levels. I did put a buyout this week for Woodside. We're at the bottom of a cycle here. You're going to get good capital growth and a good div from him. So, all right, next one, Treasury Wine, 5.3. Not yet. It's broken that support. There's a bit of pain still to come, unfortunately, so wait for a bottoming action to occur. Tower. Tower's a general insurance company, 8% div. So they've sort of broken this long-term downtrend line. Anyway, this is a new one. So it's consolidating on the averages here. So if you like the space, that looks pretty good. Waypoint, so it's another REIT. Portfolio of service station properties across Australia. 5.9. So yeah, we are at the top of the range. Again, that interest rate comment still applies. Yeah, do your own research. Right, so the stocks. Now there's a couple of ETFs, so if you know my channel, this is the king. He should be in everyone's portfolio. The core holding for growth and for income. So he's got all your miners, your top 31 miners, including the ones we've talked about. So he's probably low fours if you add them all up. So if you haven't seen, actually I'll leave a video about it if you haven't seen it, but it's got all your mining companies. So then there's the VHY ETF. Okay, so their mantra is they look for companies with higher forecast dividends relative to other ASX listed companies, putting restrictions on no more than 40% to an industry or 10% for one company. A-REITs are excluded. I tend not to look at the fluff and look at what they hold. So their biggest holding, 10%, BHP, have no idea why Fortescue or Woodside is the top holding, but anyway, Commonwealth, Westpac, NAB, Telstra, ANZ, then they got Woodside down here with about 5, Transurban, Rio, Macquarie Group, and then there's another one, SYI. So VHY probably pays mid four and a half. I mean, you just got to look at the companies in it and understand what dividends they're paying. I don't understand why they don't have any more of the ones that we're looking at in the ASX. So SYI, their mantra is designed to reflect the performance of listed investment companies with relatively high dividends, income and quality characteristics with the potential for franked dividend income. Anyway, we look at, so they got Westpac with 11, NAB, ANZ 10, Macquarie, Telstra, Woodside, Fortescue, Coles. So obviously a bit bankier heavy. So again, probably mid fours they say for the div. I think if you compared, this is VHY over SYI. Given me, I'd probably prefer VHY if you're going to make a pick, because they've all got basically heavy in banks. MVR would beat both of them capital growth wise, but we're just doing it for income, so diversification. YMAX is another one. Again, not you're not buying this for growth. So they've got a 7.5% dividend. They use a covered call strategy, so basically they give away their growth for income. But if you start after income and not growth, then pays you a nice divvy. All right. If any of you got any other ASX stocks you reckon look pretty good with a good div, let us know. Otherwise, have a good one. So yeah.